פרק ד' משנה ה' המפטיר בנביא. Somebody who makes a הפטרה, רגיל, המפטיר בנביא. מי שרגיל להפטיר בנביא.
On a regular basis.
Oh. So let's explain this.
Exactly.
Because otherwise this whole Mishnah, this whole Mishnah doesn't make sense. המפטיר בנביא, in there's many ways to explain this Mishnah, but let's learn it one way and then we can learn the other ways also. It's talking about קטן יכול גם כן, a small person, someone who is not important can read the Navi. Somebody who's not important can read Navi. So if somebody who's not important, like a katan, a small child, can read the Navi, so because of that, they're going to say the next part. Hu pores al shma. He's going to be the one who's going to cut the shma. If you remember yesterday, we said when there's no minyan, and and people want to say Baruch Hu, and they want to say Shmona Esrei and Kedusha, and the first blessing of the Shema. So the person comes into shul, he says this first blessing of the Shema, yeah, and then everybody can say the Amen, everybody can say Baruch Hu, everybody can say Kedusha of the Shmona Esrei. So because he got the least in those times, since a katan can get the maftir, so it's the least important thing, so we're going to give him the honor to do pores al shma. So this is what he's saying.
So a katan can do a pores al shma?
No, katan cannot do pores al shma, but katan can do the navi. Yeah, but because it's not so important, you say the guy, I did the not important job. Yeah, so therefore I can do. Now the question is, what do you mean if there was the reading of the Torah, you had a minyan? But we'll deal with it some.
He is not a minyan.
Yeah.
Katan.
No. Katan, there's not thing. You'll see soon. המפטיר בנביא, מי שרגיל להפטיר בנביא, הוא פורס על שמה. אומר בפני הציבור, for whatever reason. He says in front of the congregation, קדיש וברוך הוא וקריאת שמע, כמו שביארנו במשנה. He's going to say the Kaddish and the Baruch Hu and the Krishma, the first blessing of the Shmi, like we explained in the previous Mishnah.
איך הגעת לקטן? אני לא רואה פה קטן.
No. You say, the question is, why does he have to
do all this?
Yeah, anybody can do. Any of the 10 can do. So why did
they want to do the maftir?
Why did they say that the maftir does it? So the only reason the maftir does it because it's not an important job, so you give him another job. והוא עובר לפני התיבה. Now, if he's a katan, obviously he cannot do all the things because he's not moitzi them. בחזרת 18, להוציא את הציבור בקדושה. Okay. We're going to see it. So he's going to do also the 18. So that everybody is going to do the obligation of Kedusha. That we say in the 18. רוב המפרשים, now he's going to come to the complications. רוב המפרשים מבארים משנתנו לפי דעת רב פאפה בגמרא. So most of the commentaries, the Gemara gets very complicated over here, but most of the commentaries are going to go according to רב פאפה, שאין זה כבוד לאדם להפטיר בנביא. It's not such an honor to do the maftir in the Navi. Today it is a big honor. Yeah, it depends on which congregation. Some congregations it's still not a big honor. Yeah, by Chabad, the Rabbi also goes the Navi. The Rabbi used to get the maftirs, so it's always a big honor. But in that, there's many congregations. It's not kavod laadam laftir benavi. Why? Because halachically a katan can also be maftir benavi. So that's why. וכיוון שאדם אינו חושש לכבודו והוא מפטיר בנביא. And now Rav Papa says, since this person is not worried about it, say, give it to me. It means that he is there. תקנו חכמים לכבודו שיהיה פורס את שמה. So the sage says, look, this guy is humble. We're going to give him the honor to do all this, to be the chazan for Shema. Yeah? ועובר לפני התיבה. He is going to become the chazan. ומאיר הר"ן, the Ran explains over there, שלא היה דרכם לעבור לפני התיבה בקריאת שמע עד שעת חזרת 18. In their time, there wasn't a chazan until the 18. In other words, everybody davened together, and then for Shmona, what do you need the chazan for? The only reason you need the chazan is for Shmona Esrei, for the people who don't know. For people who don't know how to do it. So until then, there was no chazan. The chazan only came when? In the Shmona Esrei. Hilkach nakta Mishnah. Therefore the Mishnah says, hu pores al shma vehu over lifnei ateva. So that's why the Mishnah says, he pores al shma and over shma. Moshe Be'an.
So you have to give him the maftir before even the 18.
Yeah, but you have to remember, you have to remember, so what do you do with the maftir? So according to this, it comes out that maybe the only way you can understand this thing is that it's possible to read the Torah before the davening. So it's possible they read the Torah before the davening. Minyan left, and then another guy came in, so you give the other guy, but it has to be convoluted. You see, the Gemara discusses it. How can such occurrence happen? It's very complicated for it to happen. Yeah. So the way it happened like this, to make sense out of it, they did Kriyat Torah before davening. So there was a minyan, and then a couple of the guys, after they heard the Torah, they had to go, so they left. And then new minyan came in, and so you gave the one who got Haftarah, you gave
the new guy that came for the minyan.
No, the new guy you didn't give. The guy who did Haftarah in the early minyan, he was Pores al Shema, not one of the new guys. That's the only.
The guy that did
Haftarah. But you see, it's hard to learn it this way. This whole Mishnah is very hard to learn. I thought you'd come to a hard Mishnah. Vehu noseh et kapav. And you also give him the honor, if he's a Kohen, to do Birkat Kohanim. Now, this is even harder. Who Nosat Kapav is talking about anybody. So what do you mean? Maybe he's not a Kohen. So Piska ze kashahi. This is very, very difficult. Sharei kol Kohen Noset Kapav. What do you mean who Noset Kapav? If he's a Kohen, who Noset Kapav. If he's not Kohen, he's not Noset Kapav. Yeah? What are you even talking about? Mikan mefaresh Baal Tosfos Yom Tov. So the Tosfos Yom Tov has to say, look, you don't understand what's going on over here. This is what's happening. Shepiska zo lo huv'a kan ela mishum seifa. The only reason it's brought over here is because of the ending. It's not that it really means hu noseh et kapav. Hainu mishum ha-mishnah ha'ba'ah. Because of the next Mishnah, that's why he's bringing it. Ha'oseket bekatan, that is dealing with a small child. Sheba shanui ve'eno noseh et kapav. Over there says a small child is not going to noseh et kapav, do birkat kohanim. Hilkach nakat kanatana ve'noseh et kapav. Therefore, he says, and he does birkat kohanim. Pirush acher. So that's the first. In other words, the Mishnah is not accurate. It's very hard to say a Mishnah is not accurate. The only reason why it's brought over here is because later on, you're talking about a katan, and a katan is not the set kapav, so you have to say that this guy, even though he did the job of a katan as the maftir, we let him do birkat kohanim. It's very hard to say it, but we're going to say it. Or you can say something else. Pirush acher vehu noseh et kapav, and he is doing birkat kohanim, shu matchil et birkat kohanim ki'ilu hu hagadol shebahem. Like he starts Birkat Kohanim as if he's the biggest. I don't know what it means. So it can help you. Yeah? Shu matril Birkat Kohanim ki'ilu hu hagadol b'hem. It means that you remember in Birkat Kohanim there's a leader, there's a zeu. So he's going to be the one who's going to start it. Say, once they hear him, everybody else joins him. But he's the leader. Yeah. ויש מפרטים משנתנו. So there are some people say it's talking about a specific case. What's a specific case? Now, in today's day and age, it doesn't happen a lot. But in the old time, it would happen a lot. What does it mean? So if you think about it like this. In the old time, how did it used to work? Villages. Villages actually happened all one family. It could be the whole family. Once you got one guy in Poland or in Israel living in somewhere, right? And especially then, it was according to tribes. It was one guy living somewhere, and he had 10 sons, and they got married. They all put houses next to him, and they had 10 sons, and they got houses next to him. All of a sudden, you've got 300 families. 300 families only from one grandfather. It all started, all the 300 families. So what happens if they're all Kohanim? So there were shuls, the 300 families, and since the grandfather is a Kohen, not only the grandfather is a Kohen, everybody is a Kohen now. So you've got the whole town Kohanim. So now you're going to have a lot of problems. Who's doing Birkat Kohanim in the old town Kohanim? So because the Kohanim have to bless the nation. So if all the Kohanim are going to go out, all the Kohanim are going to go to, who are the blessing? So that's going to be so he says, we're talking about such a situation. So it says, who noset kapav, we're going to see what it means. ויש מפרשים משנתנו בכגון שבית הכנסת כולו כהנים. The entire shul is kohanim, just like we gave the example right now. שההלכה היא שאין שם אלא 10, כולם עולים לדוכן. So if there's only 10 people in the minyan, they all go to ברכת כהנים. אבל אם יש יותר מ10, but if there's more than 10, היתרים מ10 עולים לדוכן, וה10 עונים אחריהם אמן. So if there's 11, one goes up, only to ברכת כהנים, and all 10 stays to say amen. If there's 15, 5 go up, and 10 say amen. Right? You need 10 people to say amen to the blessing. And if there's 50, 10 go up and 40 say amen. If there's 19, 9 go up and 10 say amen. Yeah?
You keep the minyan here.
That's right. That's right.
And this,
That's right. So the question is, והוא עולה לדוכן, פרס כהנים, the Kohen that we got, you remember in the morning.
he doesn't go in the Kehati.
That's right. He gets the honor of the Birkat Kohanim. Very good. So that's the other explanation for the Mishnah. ובא המשנה להשמיענו, and this Mishnah comes to teach us, שאם יש שם יותר מ10, that if there's more than 10, המפטיר בנביא הוא מן העולים לדוכן. He's the guy who gets the honor to go up and say the ברכת כהנים. ואם היה קטן, and we said, so over here, here's the thing. You remember, 18, everybody's davening, right? The only part that's important at that time is the 18, because that's the only part you repeat. So in other words, so a katan can get, so listen to this, a katan can go and get the maftir, so he gets the maftir, then he can do pores al shma, yeah? He can do the pores al shma because everybody's doing it together. There's no repetition, but there's no repetition anyway. The repetition is only on the 18. So he's doing the pores al shma, which means Baruch Hu and everything else, yeah, until the 18. So the question is, now the 18 comes around, what is he going to do? ואם היה קטן, אם המפטיר בנביא היה קטן, if the maftir in נביא היה קטן, שאינו יכול לפרוס על שמה, ולא לבוא לתשעה, I was wrong. It depends, actually I wasn't wrong, but it depends. Over here he lands it, over here it depends, because before he says he could do al shma. You remember the commentary before? But over here it says, according to the opinion that he like in our days, that he's actually a chazan, that he doesn't do pris al shma, ולא לעבוד לפני התיבה. So what happens? אביו או רבו עוברין. So then you replace him with his father or his master. כלומר, פורסים את שמה ועוברים לפני התיבה על ידו בשבילו. They do the pris al shma and עוברים לפני התיבה through him. Okay. בביאור הפסקה הוא נושא את כפיו. When we say that he does ברכת כהנים, כותב הרשש, ולי נראה שלפי ששנינו העובר לפני התיבה, and this is what the Rashash says, since we says that he is the one who's going to do 18, אם אין שם כהן, if there's no other כהן, אלא הוא לא יישא את כפיו. So he says he shouldn't...
He's the only Kohen, you mean?
No.
Or he's not the Kohen?
Before we says,
הקטן לא פורס.
הקטן לא פורס אף פעם.
Is it Kohen or not Kohen?
We don't know. The Mishnah says, המפטיר בנביא, whoever it is, Kohen or not Kohen. But because we says, אם אין שם כהן אלא הוא, if there's no other Kohen besides him, לא יישא את כפיו, ואם הבטחתו שהוא נושא את כפיו וחוזר לתפילתו, רשאי. says, what's the problem over here? He's going to be doing the Shemona Esrei, right? And all of a sudden, he's the Chazan. And now he needs to be Birkat Kohanim. He's going to get confused. Because he's got two jobs. He's going to get confused. So he says, when do we permit it? When you know that this guy knows what he's doing. You know, for him, it's no problem. He's an expert in it. You know, he does it all the time. He's the Rabbi, or whatever it is. He knows what's going on. But if he's just a guy that's first time, not first time, but even he's usually, but it's not something that he's used to it, we're afraid he's going to make a mistake. ופרשו הפוסקים שאם יש כהנים אחרים זולתו, the other poskim says that if there's other kohanim except him, אפילו הבטחתו שהוא חוזר לתפילתו, even you know for sure he knows what he's doing, he's going to go back to the right place in davening, לא יישא את כפיו. He shouldn't do ברכת כהנים. Let the other kohen do ברכת כהנים. לפיכך באה משנתנו להשמיע כאן, therefore our Mishnah comes to teach, והוא נושא את כפיו, שאף אם הוא עובר לפני התיבה, that even if he comes לפני התיבה, מכל מקום הוא נושא את כפיו ואת הבטחתו שהוא חוזר, עם הבטחתו שהוא חוזר אחר לתפילתו. So usually you don't allow him, but over here you're going to allow him, because only when he knows what he's doing. If a Kohen knows what he's doing, then it's נושא את כפיו, and that's the Rashash learns the הוא נושא את כפיו, because it's problematic. אלבק מפרש משנתנו בדרך אחרת לגמרי. It says, the Albak says it exactly the opposite. Learns the Mishnah not the way we learned it, שדווקא אדם חשוב היו מכבדים במפטיר. It's exactly the opposite. We learned that you give it even to a קטן. He says, no. You gave Maftir to the most important guy. ובא המשנה ללמד, and the Mishnah comes to teach, שמי שכיבדו לפטיר ונביא, that somebody you honored to read the Navi, ראוי, he's the one, he's the rabbi, he's the big macher, he should be the one who leads the davening. הוא לפרוס את שמה ולעבור לפני התיבה ולישא את כפיו. So according to him, it works very well. ואין להרהר אחריו, and you don't worry about him, maybe he's going to make a mistake, because he's the one who's most knowledgeable. ואם הוא קטן וחכם, but if he's like a genius, but he's small, שהוא ראוי להתכבד במפטיר, he's a genius. So therefore, you should get the מפטיר, אבל אין כבוד לציבור שיש שלוחם. But even though he's a genius, but it's not honorable to have a chazan, without a beard. The guy is 12 years old. What are you giving him to be in a shul without a beard? I don't care if he's Moshe Rabbeinu. It doesn't look respectable. So therefore, אביו או רבו רואים אף הם בסתם לבוא לפני התורה מקומו. So therefore, in that time, when you get his father or his rabbi, that maybe are less knowledgeable than him, but at least they have the white beard, at least they look the part, so they give them the part.